Okay, so this week we've had young Jordan Whitehouse in to come and see me. He's a two-handicapper at Blakely. He's had a wonderful year. He's a member at Whitefield as well, so Blakely and Whitefield. He's had a wonderful year. He's got down to two. He's won the club championship. He's had I've been hearing lots of good things about him from from just people I speak to. So he's improved a lot, and we had him in this week just to see if we could just move his technique on. He just wanted to have a look at his swing and see if there's anything we could help him out with. So when he came in, his complaints to me would have been that whenever he was trying to hit a draw shot, he would kind of block it off to the right, and he would also kind of drag it over to the left hand side, kind of a bit of a pull shot. So as we set him up and I watched him hit, I haven't watched him hit for probably over 18 months or so since I last saw him. So it's been a while. Now when I set him up pretty square, we had a 6-iron, and he was possibly catching it a little bit thin and very straight. They were still going very straight where we wanted, but just a little bit thin. So they're kind of the shots I look at, obviously, because when you're watching, when you're watching somebody on a range and you set them up, you don't know if they're copying that same setup out on the golf course. Now, one of the first things I would say with Jordan when we got him out on the grass and we got him moving is he was aiming at least 25 to 30 yards right of where he thought he was. So again, if you're looking at the bad shots he was talking about, the pushes off to the right and then the kind of the big pull over to the left hand side, if you're aiming 25 to 30 yards offline straight away, then that's 25 to 30 yards your technique has got to make up in terms of corrections. So one thing I can't stress enough is that you must make sure that you are aiming exactly. I would say it's the number one fault that most people make. Get some clubs down on the ground, get some practice sticks, or use your iron that you're hitting, but you have got to check. You've got to know that you are aiming where you think you are. I still would say, out of all the playing lessons I do and playing with people that I teach and amateur golfers, that it's still the number one thing that people get wrong, and not enough attention is paid to it. So, first thing we did was obviously get him aiming correctly, get him standing a lot squarer. To him, he felt obviously a lot more left, but stood in the right place. And then we're going to take a look at his swing to see what we could possibly improve. Like I said, two-handicapper, had an absolutely great year. So let's have a bit of a look. So this is the driver swing. This was the one. He was kind of, if he was going to push, it would be a big push off to the right, or kind of a bit of a pull. So let's just have a look. So setup all looks great. Nothing I would change drastically here. It looks absolutely fine. Swing him up to the top. Good backswing. Possibly just a little bit short. I like the club face position at the top here. Those I teach love this club face position. Looking into his downswing. Good rotation. Decent rotation of the lower half. As we get in towards impact, though, these are a couple of the areas I would start to look at. You can kind of see here how the right arm is stuck a little bit behind the right side of his body. You can kind of see how it's down by the side of his body here. In elite hitters, in great hitters, in the best drivers on tour, this right elbow would be in front of the right hip bone, and you can just see it's just lagging behind a little bit, almost like it's a little bit stuck. And the problem if it gets stuck behind the body is it means that the right arm will start to extend a little bit sooner, so he's going to get full extension roughly around here, which means he's just going to have to flex the right wrist, and he's just going to underflip this club a little bit. It's still very stable. Still got decent, very good body movements through here. he's just lacking a little bit of arm speed because of where he's getting his elbow stuck. Again, over here onto the right hand side, you can just see that the elbow is just getting a little bit trapped behind the right side, and just causing this little bit of an underflip. Now, this little bit of an underflip release here, still an excellent release. Wouldn't be what the top drivers do. They would be drive holding, not underflipping, but still really good. And still can play great, wonderful golf from there. So the work we're going to do, obviously, first of all, is going to get into aim in the right place, getting him aiming properly, and then we're going to start to work on this right arm and working on the external rotation. So if I just get an example up here, okay. Get an example up over here of Dustin Johnson on the right hand side. So again, we're just looking at the movement of the arms. You see how this right arm doesn't really get in front of the right hip. If you're comparing that to Dustin, you see the right elbow gets pulled right in front of the body here. Still caught back. This is the most powerful movement in the body, this kind of external to internal movement of the right arm. It's almost like your punch. If you're going to punch someone, this would be your power hit, if you like, your haymaker. And if you start using it too soon, it only has a range of about 30 degrees. And if you use it too soon, it will run out and just lead to a little bit of poor contact through impact. One thing I would say is that as well, if you're aiming right, you have to do a little bit of this to hit it straight. So aiming Jordan in the right place to start with will help him out tremendously. And then just seeing if we can get this right arm to get in front of the body. If you're looking at the lag position, you can just see by the midpoint of when the back of the hand touches the femur here in the leg. You see how Dustin's hands are much higher versus the club head that would be dropping a little bit more on here. So this is, for me, looking at this is mainly losing Jordan power, club head speed. That would be the main one. I don't think it's causing massive timing issues because he's had a great season and he still looks pretty stable through the ball. This would be getting him a little bit better striking and also improve, like I say, his distance mainly his distance. So getting him aiming in the right place. Like I say, he's at least 25, 30 yards right. That was on a driving range with no hazards. So obviously you bear in mind that's a golf course where you've got out of bounds and trees and the way the holes are shaped. Could be more on a golf course. And with that, then give you some exercises to see if you can get this right arm in front of the right hip here, just like Dustin's over here, instead of just trailing behind and extending just a little bit early.